Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barons. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Video in the Water Juice channel, and welcome back to an episode of the Brooklyn Barons, a relocation franchise here on Madden 23. And this is the final time I will say that. This is the series finale. We're wrapping it up. I know it only says Week 10 against the Patriots, but you guys know from the last video the struggles that I had in that video. And so we are wrapping things up to get ready for Madden 24. So I'm ready to go. Hope you guys are too. If you are, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's get started finishing this year. This is going to feel a little weird because I've never simulated in this series or in any of my series before. So let's advance and see if we beat the New England Patriots. We're going to do a full series wrap up, all that good stuff, and finish out the series the right way. We lose again to the Patriots. We're 5-5. We're not making the playoffs. I'm just going to tell you that much right now. We're not going to make the playoffs. We're definitely not winning the division, although the Dolphins did slip, and they did lose. So maybe we can catch them on a bad day when we play them in a couple of weeks. We lost again. Why are we losing so much? I don't understand why we're losing. We are one of the best teams in all of the NFL. Why are we losing games? This is one of the main questions I have with Madden 23. It's not good. It's not a good game. So let's see if we can win again. We lost again. We are 5-7. We are bottom of the division. I honestly have no words for why we're losing. The Dolphins aren't even that good of a team on paper. Why are they so dominant? We lose again, and it's the bye week. Are we going to finish with the worst record in the entire NFL? Is that how this final season is going to go? Is that how the series is going to end? With us losing all these games? That's what it feels like right now. That's the kind of vibes I'm getting. I don't know, man. 5-8. We haven't been this bad since we first formed, since we first became the Barons. We weren't even this. We were still better than what we were then, but I don't understand why we're losing. We have a fantastic roster. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense why we're losing. We lost again. Do I have this on, like, automatic losing? Like, is it guaranteed we're going to lose? Why are we losing games? What's happening here, boys? Figure it out. Let's win some freaking games. We're 5-9. The heck's happening? Come on, guys. Get it together. We lost again to the Commanders. We are 5-10. 5-10. We are such a good football team. How are we losing? We haven't won a game in like 3 months. Are we going to lose again? We might as well just lose the rest of the time. Come on, just make it 5-12 and let's get out of here. No. We beat the Cowboys. Why? Out of all the teams, we beat the Dallas Cowboys. Why is that what happened? I don't get it. I just don't get it. We lost the Dolphins 14-13. We finished 6-11 on the year. Our worst record since we were starting to become the Brooklyn Barons. We obviously didn't make the playoffs. Absolutely unbelievable that we lost those games. We should have honestly won every single game, if we're being totally honest here, because we are the best team in all of football. Let's just be real. We are better than the Dolphins. We're better than the Chiefs, better than the Bengals, better than the Bills, better than everybody. We are the best team in all of football, and yet we are not where we need to be for some strange reason. But maybe it's for the best. This final season was kind of cursed. I wasn't really enthused about doing it. I just wanted to get it done because I felt like we needed to wrap it up in a right way. So but my heart was never really in it. I don't know. I just felt a little cursed. And maybe this is the best way that we could have wrapped it up. 42-24, Chiefs beat the Packers. So let's do our wrap-up. We've got your awards. Justin Fields actually wins the MVP. Good for him. He's having a good year on Tampa Bay. Arthur Smith, Coach of the Year. Chris Godwin is the Offensive Player of the Year. Micah Parsons, Defensive Player of the Year. Spencer Callaway and Nick Lambert are the Rookies of the Year. Let's go back to the beginning. The first Super Bowl was won by the good old-fashioned Baltimore Ravens. Josie Jewell actually won the MVP of the league. Then we go to 2023. We were still in our rebuilding years. Patrick Surtain, the second, PS2. He wins MVP of the Super Bowl. Justin Herbert won the MVP of the league. No awards yet for us, but we're getting there. Broncos win the Super Bowl. Chiefs win it against the Giants. Lamar Jackson's the MVP. We're still working. We're still working it up here, but here we go. The Brooklyn Barons arrive. The Brooklyn Barons have arrived. 34-7 over Justin Fields and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bryce Hall is your MVP. I'm pretty sure he had a pick 6 in that game. Burrow wins the MVP of the league. Brian Daboll wins the MVP of coaches. He wins the Coach of the Year. We also got, I thought we had somebody else. We don't have any other awards, but that's okay because we won a Super Bowl. Then we go back to back, baby. 38-22 over the Dallas Cowboys. Justin Jefferson got the MVP of the league, or not of the league, of the Super Bowl. Josh Allen got the MVP of the league. We got back-to-back Coach of the Years, and that's how our series ends because we didn't even make the playoffs or do anything in the final years. So some good stuff. How many years did we go? Let me go back to the season recap real quick. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seasons of NFL action. Technically, it's 5 seasons because we had to simulate this entire first season to get the actual relocation to go through. But in Madden 24, you don't have to do that, luckily, and thankfully. Merge them two together. Luckily, we don't have to do that. We can just go straight from year number 1 as whatever relocation team we choose. So that's a nice little benefit. So we go 6 seasons of the entire franchise of the universe, but we only have 5 years of Barons football, which is pretty impressive. I think we went 5 years in the Cougar series too. I can't remember exactly. But let's take a look at the final season stats, and then we'll kind of take a look at kind of some career stats and some legacy leaderboards, stuff like that, just to see kind of a roundabout way of how good we were. So Jalen Hurts this season, 4,200 yards, 36 touchdowns, 17 picks. Jalen Hurts was one of these weird players where he was so good at times for me in the games. But then, more than likely, he was just unbelievably inaccurate. It was so frustrating. You guys obviously know how frustrating it was. I thought I was past that with when Zach Wilson and Justin Fields, we had those two guys, and they were wildly inaccurate most of the time. But then when we got Jalen Hurts, I thought that those days would be behind us, but no, and it seemed to get worse as we got deeper into the franchise. He just got more and more inaccurate. He would miss so many throws that could have led to big-time plays or even touchdowns. It was just so frustrating. And I'm glad, honestly, that he's not going to be, we're not going to be playing with them anymore. And we're not going to get Jalen Hurts in Madden 24, so at least not for the relocation franchise. There's a couple other quarterbacks that I would like to get. I don't know if we'll be able to, but with the new trading, adding more trade slots, maybe we can. Saquon Barkley, another guy that we'll probably stay away from in Madden 24, at least for the beginning part. 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. Had a good year. Fumbled the ball a lot. Not this year. He only had 1. But in his time here in Brooklyn, I think he had... Oops, I didn't mean to sort that. I think he had 3 seasons in Brooklyn, including this one. How many years did we have him here? No, he had 4. Huh, I forgot how long we had Saquon Barkley. We have him that long? That's crazy. But he had really good year. I think he got hurt at this somewhat. No. This was the year where we just simply could not run the football. The offensive line just would not block for us. So I'm pretty sure that's why he only had 875 yards. I don't think he got hurt that year. I can't remember. But every other year that we was with us, he had over 1,100 yards. So that's good for him. And I guess I should do the same with Jalen as well. No, not Saquon. Just to see some season-by-season numbers in the passing game for Jalen. I think what hurt us was not having an X-Factor quarterback. I think that was really crucial because I couldn't ever get hot route upgrades. I couldn't get hot route master. I couldn't do anything like that. So I think that kind of hurt us in the end. But Jalen Hurts, we had him for 3 seasons, 4,300 yards, 4,600 yards, and 4,200 yards. Very, very good numbers. Obviously, in Tampa, he's going to put up crazy numbers because that playbook is overpowered. But he was 1 year in Tampa, then we moved Justin Fields over to Tampa to get Jalen Hurts, and then we had him for 3 seasons. He had some good numbers. I won't knock him for that. Justin Jefferson, he was our big year 1 free agent signing, I'm pretty sure, and he had 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. Obviously, GW, Garrett Wilson, I love the man. He was here since the beginning. He was one of those guys that I wanted to focus on and make a star because I knew that he could end up being a star, and he was. He didn't say a star in his anything other than his development trait, but this man was goated. He did struggle with injuries in these 2 seasons here, but this man was the real deal Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, he was just freaking phenomenal. 16 touchdowns, 11 and 11. I mean, just unbelievable production from GW. He was fantastic. Justin Jefferson, obviously, we know how good he was. If I could actually get to him instead of sorting by the other stuff. Let's go to his numbers. Yeah, we signed him in the first free agency period, and he was just... actually, we didn't sign him in the first free agency period. We signed him in the second one. No, in the third. Did we get Justin Jefferson that late? I thought we got him pretty early into the series, but I guess not. That's my mistake. But we had him for 4 seasons, and, I mean, this man was just unbelievable. 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, 903 and 13 touchdowns, 1,321 touchdowns, and then 1,013. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettas, never disappointed. I should say, he dropped a couple passes. Will Washington, the founding father, one of my favorite people in this entire franchise and in the entirety of my series is on any series we've done. We traded for him from Chicago. I remember it like it was yesterday. We got him in. He was a wide receiver, and we made him a tight end because he was 6'4", 231, and boy, did he blossom. He never got 1,000 yards, but he didn't need to. These stats don't look amazing, but we know what he did. We have the footage. We know some of the amazing things he did for us in these 3 seasons. He was just unreal. Love him. Absolutely love him. A.J. Brown, kind of a disappointment. He never really did anything for us. We had him for 3 years, but I think that's more on my part why he disappointed, because we had such a stacked receiving core with Justin Jefferson and Garrett Wilson and Will Washington and George Patton and Jermaine Mason towards the end. Like, we just got such a stacked room that it was hard to find A.J. Brown a lot of the time. And he was being covered by a lot of the best corners, and he doesn't have that explosiveness like Justin Jefferson does to beat you one-on-one, more than likely. He can do it, but he's just not in Madden. He can't beat you like that. So he just kind of got lost in the sauce. And then Jermaine Mason, one of my favorite draft picks I've made in recent memory, just because he was so solid for us, and he always made the big catch. I shouldn't say always. He more than likely 90% of the time made those spectacular in-traffic catches that were just huge. Like on 3rd down, 4th down, throw at the middle of the field, verticals, double covered, he's going to go up and get it for you. That's just the kind of player that Jermaine Mason was. And I'm expecting him to be a star. If we were to go further, he probably would end up being like that. George Patton, the general, one of our first draft picks. We know all about him. He was a really, really good player for us. Didn't really feature too heavily just because at that point we had Will Washington. So he kind of got lost a little bit. And we had, did we have Evan Ingram? No, we didn't have Evan. We had, who do we have? We had a tight end. Oh, it was Tyler Conklin. That's right. He was here for a little bit too. But George Patton, solid receiver. Didn't get featured enough. I would have liked to feature him a little bit more, but he was a good player on the field, good blocker as well. Solid player for what he did on the team. Eddie Pleasance, we didn't really know much about him. He didn't get to shine as much as I would have liked, but he's a burner. He was amazing in the plays that he had, in the time on the field that he had. I'm excited about the future of Eddie Pleasance, but we just aren't going to find out about it. I'm very curious to see how good he does, though. Some of our favorite offensive linemen in this series, or were in this series, like Tom Lowry ended up being one of my favorite guys. Jamie Brackett, the do-it-all offensive lineman, the Swiss Army knife of offensive lineman. He was a right guard, he was a left guard, he was a tackle, he was a center. He could do everything. He literally did it all for us in this series because we suffered so many injuries. We had, who else do we have that I liked? Where's the dude? Manny Battles I enjoyed a little bit. Alani Johnston, didn't get to know much about Alani. Malcolm Waynes I enjoyed. There's some good offensive linemen in this roster. Nick Bolton, I mean, I was a little bit worried when we went from Tremaine Edmonds and we had to figure out what were we going to do at middle linebacker because we couldn't obviously pay Tremaine Edmonds. So I was like, what are we going to do? Are we going to be able to get somebody that's equal to what Tremaine Edmonds was doing? Because remember, Tremaine Edmonds in the beginning of the series, he was one of our he was in that first free agency class. He was unbelievable every single season, 100-plus tackles. He was always making big plays, forced fumbles, interceptions, solid tackles in the open field. He was always making big plays. He was like Mr. Consistency for those first couple of years. But then his contract came up. It expired. We didn't have the money to pay him. We had to let him go, and we traded him to Kansas City to get back Nick Bolton, who is basically like a semi-clone of Tremaine Edmonds. He put up similar, if not the exact same production to what Tremaine Edmonds was doing. He even had 4 interceptions this season. So, I mean, just like the kind of production that we got from our middle linebacker position over the entirety of this series between Edmonds and Bolton is just unreal. I hope that we can get that in Madden 24. Steve Smith was a really, really good player, kind of underrated. 83 tackles this season, 6 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks. Also one of those guys that kind of just got lost in the sauce because we just had a lot of depth at the position and a lot of better guys. Derwin James, unbelievable for us. If we go to his numbers, he's the guy. In that first class, that first free agency class with Tremaine Edmonds, I mean, just freaking phenomenal. If we can find his forced fumble numbers, he had 1 in the first season. He had 5, 4, 7, and then 2 this year. So, I mean, he was just, once we gave him deflator, when he came downhill on a receiver or running back or whatever, he was going to more than likely pop that ball out. Phenomenal numbers. Mr. Consistency for us here. He's Mr. Brooklyn, Derwin James is. Kentavious Bishop, maybe my favorite draft pick of the entire series, if it's not Shaquem McLeod. Because Kentavious Bishop is the best player that we had, probably. I know that we didn't draft him, but regardless of who drafted him, the Cougars actually did draft him, but regardless of who drafted him, my favorite draft pick of the entire series, because this man was unbelievable in game. He was so good. And then his contract was up. We gave him a massive extension. He got paid, and he played. He was unbelievable after the extension. He was even better than before he got paid. He was so good for us. The stats don't really add up to that or show that, but if you go back and watch some of those games from the past couple of seasons that we had him, he was so big, so good in those games. Dylan Ross, I do like. We drafted him this past season. We moved him from linebacker to free safety. It was kind of a risky maneuver to do, but I realized that he could probably do it because he had enough speed, he had a good pursuit, he had good acceleration, decent enough coverages, and he had good enough hit power and stuff. So I was like, you know what, he could probably play safety, and he played it pretty well. 80 tackles, 2 interceptions. He was a really solid player, and he probably is only going to get better as the seasons go on, but we'll really never know. Sauce Gardner, speaking of sauce from earlier with Steve Smith getting lost in the sauce, Sauce Gardner started slow. I will give him that. He started slow, but he turned it up, man. Year number 1 was kind of a weird one because we had like Sean Murphy Bunting, and we had the guy that's here now. That's our number 1. Why am I Bryce Hall? I forgot about Bryce Hall for his name for a second. And then we had Sauce. Sauce was kind of playing that slot role, And he didn't really come into his own until the third season. Technically, the second season is Brooklyn. That's when he got the 5 picks. Then he came in and he had an okay year, better tackles. But then he had 4 and then he had 6. And now he's an X factor. So Sauce Gardner is only going to get better. What's his rating now? It is a 91 with the morale. He's an 89 technically. But an 89 X factor corner as your third corner, or I guess he'd be our number 2 because Kendavius Bishop's not that high of an overall. Actually, he's an 89. So as our third corner. Because once the morale goes down, he'll be a true 89. So, I mean, we've got some corners. That is one thing that I do like to establish in my series. Obviously, I did it last year in the Cougar series with Sean Murphy-Bunting and Patrick Surtain. And I had some really, really good corners in that series. And I did it again this one. I love to get good corners because then we can just get pick after pick after pick after pick. And Bryce Hall... When we had Sean Murphy-Bunting, he's an X Factor too, jeez. When we had Sean Murphy-Bunting, I was a little bit worried that when we had to let him go, because he was part of that exodus that we just couldn't pay. So when we had to let him go and we moved on from, we traded him away, I was a little bit worried and concerned that Bryce Hall wasn't going to be able to fill that role. Because Murphy-Bunting, I'm pretty sure he broke the interception record. He was just so good. So that was going to be a hard role to fill. A lot of space in those shoes for Bryce Hall to fill. But he did it very well. Bryce Hall was an unbelievable player for us. Ended up being massive in the 2 Super Bowl seasons with 9 interceptions and 6 interceptions. He had 5, 4, 6, 9, and 6. This man was the real deal Shaquille O'Neal, and he was unbelievable. Josh Allen, another guy that came in that first free agency class. That was a really big free agency class. We got Derwin James, Josh Allen, Tremaine Edmonds as top 3 guys. We might have got a couple other guys, I can't remember, but those are the top 3 that I remember. And Josh Allen was an animal for the first couple of seasons. He was so good. He kind of tailed off at the end, but for the production that we got from him, I'm happy with the signing. Roosevelt Patton, didn't really get to know much about him because I think we traded for him last season. During the season, I think. Yeah, we traded for him last year from Tampa Bay. Us and Tampa Bay had a little bit of a frenemy relationship. We made a lot of moves together, and we played each other in a Super Bowl, and we won. So, whatever. But Roosevelt Patton, we didn't really get to know much about him, but I did enjoy the time that we had. Quinnen Williams was the guy. This man became the leader of the defense. He was so impactful in these 2 Super Bowl seasons. 9.5 sacks in the first year, 3.5, and then 7, 9. And then his tackles were okay. His tackles for loss were really, really good. He was just getting to the pocket. He was getting to the quarterback. He was getting to the running back. He was doing everything. He was my favorite user. Amazing. Rick Small, didn't really get to know much about him, but he was good in the time in the first year that he was here. Shaquem McLeod, number 1 overall pick a couple of years ago. It was worth it. Look at this production. I mean, he did get hurt at some point in one of these seasons. I think it might have been this one, or maybe it was his rookie year. I can't remember. One of the times he got hurt, and he still had 9 sacks, 6.5, and 8.5. Unbelievable first overall pick, and he's probably just going to keep getting better as long as he can stay healthy. Greg Benson was a really, really underrated safety that we had. Didn't really get a lot of play time. Nate Harris from the Ohio State University. Didn't really do much in the corner spot, but that's not what we liked him for. We liked my man for his explosive kick returning. I mean, look at these numbers. 1,300 yards and a touchdown, and then 900 yards and a touchdown this season. He was an explosive kick returner for us, and I'm pretty sure he returned one in the playoffs last season. Maybe even in the Super Bowl. I can't remember. Punt return, you're never going to get a punt return touchdown in Madden 23. It's really difficult. But that's why we have Nate Harris. Not for his cornerback play. He was an okay corner. Didn't really do much. But he was an explosive kick returner. Jonathan Cain, Didn't really know much about him. He was just a rookie. Jeremy Thompson, same thing. Kind of just didn't really know much about him. Quincy Alexander was here for a long time, but he just never got to play. Actually, he wasn't here. No, he was. It's just missing a year. It's missing 2026 for some reason because his game sucks. But Quincy Alexander was here for a while. Had star development at one point. Looked like he could have taken over the reins for Quinnen Williams, but he just never really developed. Maybe that's just because he didn't get enough play time. Maybe that's on me. I don't know, but he didn't really turn into anything. And then Jerome Monroe. I liked him. Just didn't get a lot of play time. And that's just because we had a lot of depth on this team. A lot of good players. Kicking, we had Evan McPherson. We had him since the first offseason, I think. We made a trade for him, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we got him in 2023. First year we became the Barons, and he was real good. Now, obviously, these numbers should be better, but I missed a lot of kicks because I suck. I'm very bad. But these numbers obviously could be a lot better. They should be a lot better, but still, given me missing a lot of field goals, he still was unbelievably good, hitting from 60 plus at some points. Unreal potential for this kid. And then his extra points, I actually went 3 straight seasons with not missing one. That's pretty good, because I struggled there for a little bit. I missed a couple in the first. Actually, I didn't miss any in the first season. I missed a couple here. I actually did better than I thought at extra points. That's pretty cool. And then punting, we didn't really care about because we don't punt the football on the channel. Not likely is that we punt the football on the channel. Nate Harris's numbers, another kick return there. We remember that one. And then we're back to Jalen Hurts. So those are kind of the numbers there over the time and for the season. But if we take a look at quarterbacks, where does Jalen Hurts land on the board? Jalen Hurts falls to number 10. Very respectable. 2 Super Bowls, 2 AFC titles, and two awards. So that's a good numbers. Very respectable. Looks like Rodgers in the Hall of Fame. Russell Wilson's in the Hall of Fame. Running backs, where does Barkley fall? Saquon Barkley is number 12 on the all-time leaderboard. Good for him. Receiving-wise, we've got Justin Jefferson, who's down here at number 10. Okay. Anybody else make the top 20? Nope. All right, okay. Justin Jefferson's on the board, though. That's not too bad. Kyle Pitts is actually number 2. Good for him. I don't expect Will Washington to be anywhere high up here because he just he didn't really get the production like some of those other guys. But 2 Super Bowls is respectable for Will. Offensive linemen, guards, centers, guards, tackles, and then the defensive linemen. Does Shaquem get up here at all? I think he's a right end, though. Defensive tackles. Quinnen Williams should be up here, and he is. He's in the top 10. Number 9 for Quinnen. Good for him. And then right ends. Does Shaquem McLeod get at all on the board? There he is. He's number 21. He's starting to make his climb. It's going to take him a while, but he's starting to make his climb. Left outside linebackers. I don't think we're going to have anybody on here. We have C. Smith in the top 15. Good for him. I didn't expect that at all. But I guess it's easier for the linebackers to get up there. And then middle linebackers, we've got... Who do we have? Tremaine Evans is probably up here. Yeah, he is. He's number 8. He just got another Super Bowl with the Chiefs. So that's good. Middle linebacker. Oh, there's Nick Bolton. I passed him. Nick Bolton is 13. Then we got right outside linebackers. I'm not expecting any of our guys to be up here. And they are not. There's Josh Allen, though. 17. Probably should have been higher, you would think. There's Sean Murphy-Bunting, number 3 on the list, as you would expect. I'm pretty sure he did break the record. Pretty sure he did break it. Yeah, he got 15. So maybe he tied it. I don't remember that first season, but he got 15. That's amazing. But we did have to let him go, unfortunately. Do we have any? There's Bryce Hall. Makes the top 10 at number 10. I think that's going to be the last one that we have there. Anybody in the free safety spot? Probably not. It's okay. What about strong safeties? Derwin James, baby. Derwin James is number 4. So we don't have anybody that leads anything, but we got guys in the contentions. McPherson's actually number 3. It's going to be hard to pass Justin Tucker, though. And then punters, don't care. And then head coaches, do we have Brian Daboll up here? He's number 6. Look at the Daboll. Number 6 on the coaching list, but he's got some pretty legendary guys ahead of him. And then we our legacy score is 7,200 as an owner. So take that for what it is. We're number 5 on the legacy leaderboard, it says, whatever that means. NFL records, I think that the only record that we did was the interception record. I'm pretty sure. Norris for the Giants actually got 5,500 yards. Good for him. That's pretty crazy. He did it a couple times. He's in there again. But defensive interceptions, yeah, Sean Murphy Bunting does pass it, has the record with 15. The only guy in the modern era to get it, obviously. That's something to be happy about, that's for sure. Sack leaders, Brian Burns had 23. Any other notable ones? Not really. Catches, you're not going to get anything like that. Although Cooper, oh no, that's the real life. Oh no, Cooper Kupp in 2024 had 135. Wow, that's crazy. Then receiving touchdowns, Keenan Allen had 25. Cooper Kupp had 24. Then we got Cooper Kupp again with 22. Cooper Kupp was just getting production on the Rams. He's a merchant. There we are, though. We're in the record books with 21 with Justin Jefferson. Receiving yards, Cooper Kupp is the top 3, and then he's the next 3 after Calvin Johnson. Or not Calvin, who is this? For the Cougars. Oh, it is Calvin Johnson. It's just because we moved the Lions to Chicago. It is Calvin Johnson. So Cooper Kupp is the top 3. That is Calvin Johnson. Then he's the next 3. What a merchant Cooper Kupp is. Absolute merchant. Running back, rushing touchdowns. Let's see. Nick Chubb, Chubby Time, got 23. Josh Jacobs got 25 or 23 in 2025. And then Kareem Hunt, 22. Joe Mixon had 20. Okay, a lot of touchdowns. A lot of recent numbers. Rushing yards. Derrick Henry had 2,100 in 2022. Good for him. Yes, didn't do that in real life. And then passing touchdowns. So we got Joe Burrow in 23 with 54. Justin Herbert also that same year with 50. So passing numbers going crazy. Joe Burrow in 2025 with 50. And then nothing else there. Okay. Passing yards, we saw that. So those are some of your records for the season. We'll just quickly go through the game. Norris had 559 yards in a game. That's insane. I don't know what they were doing there. There's Jalen Hurts, though. 8 touchdowns in a single game. You love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Nobody in the running back one. Nobody in the touchdowns. Nobody. Keenan Allen, 298 in the receiving yards. What about receiving touchdowns? We got Keenan Allen 5. That must have been that same game. Catches, nobody here, obviously. And then defensive sacks, nobody here in a game. Defensive interceptions in a single game, nothing. All right, so those are some of your numbers for some of your records. Career stats, I am curious to see some of the career numbers. Jalen Hurts had 3,100 yards. That's pretty awesome. Rushing yards, Barkley had 10,000 with 90 touchdowns. Look at the boy. Then we had, speaking of, like, underrated, Ramondre Stevenson, man, he was a stud. He was so, like, consistent for us. Never got hurt. Always consistently good. And I think we just signed him out of free agency in the preseason. I'm pretty sure once the Patriots let him go. I forget how we got him on the team, but he was really, really good for us all the entirety of the franchise. Receiving numbers, Garrett Wilson had 5,000 yards in his career. That's a good baseline because he was a rookie when the game came out, so that's a nice little baseline for how he did this in his career. Will Washington, same kind of deal. Barkley had good enough yards. I mean, Jermaine Mason in 2 seasons had 865 yards and 5 touchdowns. I'd say that's pretty good. Blocking wise, defensively, 822 tackles for Derwin James. No surprise there. He's a stud and he's a veteran. Nick Bolton, a lot of tackles. But let's get to some of the guys that are auto-generated, or at least rookies when the game came out. So Kentavious Bishop, 416 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 13 interceptions. Sauce Gardner had 315 with 20 interceptions in his career. You love to see it. What did Bryce Hall end up with? 32 in his career. Absolutely insane. Roosevelt Patton, 42 sacks, 264 tackles. Steve Smith, 202. Dylan Ross didn't really. Those are basically just his rookie year numbers. Those are his rookie year numbers. Shaquem McLeod, 24 sacks in his career, 31 tackles for loss, 77 tackles. You love to see it. Kicking wise, McPherson, 120 for 135. 88%, not bad for a career. Not bad at all. And then we go to the kick return. 3,000 yards and 2 touchdowns in the career of Nate Harris. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I do want to go back quickly to the records, to the career interceptions. Oh, okay. I was wrong. I thought that maybe Bryce Hall would be on the list because he had 32, but I was severely mistaken. 62 was the lowest. He'd need to get 30 more interceptions. And there's one last thing that I want to take a look at before we start to wrap things up here. I want to go and find the guy that we let go, the linebacker that we let go. I don't know what team he's on anymore. That's the only problem. I guess I could just go. You remember the Super Bowl hero from last season or from a couple seasons ago, wherever it was? I forget his name. That's the only problem. And I don't know what team he's on. But I'm pretty sure he was he a middle linebacker or was he an outside linebacker? He might have been outside. Let's start here. Start at outside linebacker. I'll know his name once I see it. But I just want to go through. I want to see how he did once he left us. Because he was unbelievable when he was here. He was a Super Bowl hero. He had a pick 6, I'm pretty sure, in one of the games. In one of the Super Bowls. But I don't see it so far on the left outside linebacker spot. Are you going to be here? He might be a middle linebacker. I don't remember. I just know that he was here, all right? All right, so he's not a left outside linebacker. Is he a middle linebacker? I know that I'm going to see the name. I'm going to recognize it. I just got to see the name. I just got to find him. I don't know what team he signed with. I hope he's on a team. He was really good. Oh, where are you? I want to remember. Did I pass it? It's not Nick Grant. Where are you? Where are you? Is he a right outside linebacker? Maybe I'll have to go back in the archives and take a look at one of those old videos and see what his name was. I'll take a look at right outside linebackers, but I don't remember him being one. Maybe he was. Or maybe I just passed the name and I was wrong. Maybe I said, maybe I was wrong about seeing his name. I had to remember. Where are you, dude? I know you're here. You're a good player. Maybe you're not that good, but you were good for us when you were here. I'm pretty sure we drafted him, too. What's his name? I want to know what love is. What is his name? It was something funny, I think, right? You guys know who I'm talking about. All right. I can't figure it out. What is his name? I'm going to have to do a little bit of archive digging to get to find out where this man is and what was his name. So I'm pretty sure he made a big play in that Super Bowl. So let me just go let me go see if I can find him. All right, I'm back and I can't find him. So either he was in another series or I'm just making this up completely. He might have been in another series and I'm just getting it mixed up. I can't remember. If you guys have any idea who I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure he had a pick 6, or at least he had a game-winning play in either the Super Bowl or an AFC title game, something like that. Something really, really massive. I think it was a Super Bowl, but I don't remember if it was in this series or not. That's the only thing I'm concerned about, or confused about. But anyway, enough rambling. If you have any idea who it is, let me know. Anyway, let's wrap up this Barons series. It was really fun. I had a lot of good times, a lot of good memories, a lot of interesting things happen in this series, as they usually do when it comes to me playing Madden. A lot of rage, but we got through it. 5 full seasons of Barons football, 2 Super Bowl wins. We were a really good team for like 3 years, basically. It took us 2 years to rebuild, and then for 3 years we were really, really good. Although this year, I mean, we went 6-11, but you know we should have been better than that. But yeah, I had a good time with this series. We drafted a lot of fun players. We traded for a lot of fun players. We made some crazy moves at the quarterback position, going from Zach Wilson to Justin Fields to Jalen Hurts. I'll try for Madden 24 to not get some of the same players. I like to move away from some of the guys that we just had in the previous series, just so we can get some fresh faces out there, make some new memories, make some new channel legends. Speaking of channel legends, I feel like Will Washington is immortal. Shaquem McLeod is immortal. Bryce Hall has become immortal. Quinnen Williams. Who else? Kentavious Bishop. Some of the guys like that, Garrett Wilson, guys like that who consistently made big plays, highlight plays, consistently were featured players of the episodes. Those guys will live on in the history books of the channel. We'll remember those guys, and we'll look upon this series fondly. At least I will. So I hope you guys will too. That's going to do it for the Madden 23 series with the Brooklyn Barons. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of good time. A lot of you guys found the channel because of the Brooklyn Barons, and I hope that happens again with Madden 24 in the new relocation series that we do. Speaking of the new relocation series for Madden 24, we are going to keep doing it. We're going to be doing the Madden 24 relocation series. That's going to be the main series on the channel like it has been the past couple of years. I'm also going to be doing the New England Patriots 10-year rebuild at the start of the year. I do that every year. We do a 10-year rebuild with the New England Patriots. And then the 10-year rebuilds will be on the back burner for most of the season, or most of the cycle then, until we get towards the end. That's kind of my end of the year thing that we do. So the 10-year rebuilds will be gone for a while after the Patriots, and then we'll be just doing some random stuff. I've got like a little one-off videos that I like to do at the beginning of every Madden cycle, and then we'll just be doing some fun stuff with Madden 24. Maybe even a face of the franchise if it ends up being good. I've seen a little bit of early access videos from like Bengal and Good Game Bro and RBT and guys like that who have put out Madden 24 videos. Obviously other people have done it, like I'm sure Kay has done it, and all the big Madden YouTubers have gotten early access with like the EA game content creator thing or whatever. They'll probably never give me that because they know how critical I've been of Madden, or at least if they watch any of my videos they would realize how much this game sucks. But anyway, if you want to sponsor me, EA, I'd be happy to. I'm a shill for money, trust me. So anyway, I've seen some early access gameplay of like Face of the Franchise and of actual franchise mode, so it looks like it could be good. I'll give it a shot again. Maybe I'm not learning from my past mistakes with Madden 21 and Madden 22 and Madden 23 with Face of the Franchise, how it's been absolutely god-awful. But maybe Madden 24 is different. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a fair shake. But if I start to not have fun or it's just sucky storyline and stuff, then it'll probably go away. But Face of the Franchise will probably be here at the early portion for however long. But obviously we've got the relocation franchise. I do have the team picked out. I know what team I'm going to relocate, but I don't know anything more than that. So be on the lookout for Madden 24 content coming in the next couple of weeks when the game releases. I'm excited. Hope you guys are too, but still stick around on the channel because we've got Madden 23 content to finish up with the Tennessee Titans 10-year rebuild. We've got, what, 6 more years to go with that one, so we should be able to pump those out and get those done in a reasonable amount of time within Madden 24 cycle, hopefully. So that is going to do it for the Brooklyn Barons and for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode and this series. It's been really, really fun. So if you guys enjoyed it, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.